Wow, it feels like we've stepped back in time to 1983. HAL released 3 arcade ports in the space of a few weeks in 1987, all of which were licensed from Williams and Atari, and all 3 are Golden Age arcade games. The ports are very in the style of the initial Famicom releases, but by late 1987, these games felt very primitive. 35 years on and we can look back and say these are classics, but in 1987 that was the boring old stuff. As a result, these 3 releases are actually a bit rare. They're not outrageously expensive, but you are going to pay a premium if you want a copy. The first to arrive was my second favorite of the 3, Stargate. Stargate was the sequel to Defender, and in the arcade it had a reputation for being outrageously difficult. Part of that was the complex control scheme where the only joystick was to move you up and down. Everything else was controlled by buttons. The title's a little bit confusing here. The arcade game is Stargate, 1 word. The Famicom game is Stargate, 2 words. And then the US version of the Famicom game is Defender 2. That change was due to Williams Electronics trying to maintain the trademark on Defender. The game is a score attack arcade shooter where aliens have come to Earth to kidnap humans and turn them into mutants. These green ships are landers. They're the ones that will abduct humans, and they'll fly down low, locate somebody, and then start going straight up into the air. You need to shoot the lander, but not the person, and then save the person from falling to their death by catching them. What height you catch them at determines how many points you get for the human. There are 2 tools that can help you with an abduction. First, watch the radar at the top of the screen. When a lander is going straight up, it has a person. Second, the Stargate automatically teleports you to any human that's being abducted. There's 1 of these on each stage. Just fly into it and you're sent away. In terms of controls, the A button fires, and the B button launches a smart bomb, which destroys all enemies on the screen. You have a limited number of those, and they're pretty handy for catching landers right as they're about to escape. One useful thing to know about navigation is that the map loops infinitely. It's only about 4 screens across, and if you go in one direction, you'll just get back to where you started from. On every stage, you have to destroy a certain number of aliens before you can continue. There are defined waves that include a fixed number of landers, and a few crafts that will shoot at you. Also, if you take too long, more aliens spawn in. These don't necessarily count towards the aliens you have to destroy, though. Some of the difficulty of the arcade game carries over to the Famicom in how much momentum your ship has. It takes a little bit to get going, and a little bit to come to a stop, and if you go fast, you will run right into an enemy. I generally find it better to move in bursts, taking it a little bit more gently to avoid running into anything. There's one more odd thing to mention about the Famicom version of Stargate. Take a listen to the music when you start up the game. It's an extended version of Punch-Out's fanfare. It's not the only Punch-Out song in here either. Stargate is very straightforward, and part of that is that almost all of the complex elements from the arcade game have been eliminated. You no longer have a dwindling supply of humans that you have to protect. Humans that you catch just go into your ship, and they don't have to be lowered to the ground. And if all of the humans are abducted, nothing happens. They all come back at the start of the next stage. Even the special stages have been removed. The result is a game that feels okay, but you can also tell that it's missing some things. It's a solid, fast-paced score attack game, but as somebody who likes the arcade, I feel like too much has been stripped out. It's missing the bits that gave it some extra challenge. Stargate is not bad, but it just could have been so much better.